Justice Leaguers are famous for their heroic deeds. However, these valiant feats don't stop from streets and roads. They go all the way onto the bed. This video reveals to you who went to bed with whom in Justice League. Hawkgirl. She descends to this world as an angel, but she sure went on to have a wild life in the neighborhood. Shayera Hall is a Thanagarian who is known to the Earth's populace as Hawkgirl. During her time on Earth, she became close to another founding member of the Justice League, John Stewart, known to us as Green Lantern. Initially, they had a bickering but flirtatious friendship. However, when John sacrificed himself to save her from the Joker bomb, she let her guard loose. During the night, Shayera walked into his room, made John remove her mask, but didn't stop from there. Then the couple had their first kiss and soon decided to make love to each other while gazing into the stars. Things became complicated when Hawkgirl's lover and engaged to be married person, Commander Haro Talak, came to the Earth. At the end of the Thanagarian invasion, Hawkgirl leaves Justice League. But before she leaves, she tells John that she never deceived him and actually loved him. In Justice League Unlimited episode Wake the Dead, Shayera returns to Justice League. However, compared to Shayera in the previous series, the present Shayera is more sexier and flirty. Shayera continues to flirt with John, who is mostly dumbfounded every time, even though when she knows he is with Vixen now. In JL Unlimited, she is presented to viewers with the vibe of a bad girl.
You should see his underwear drawer. He folds his socks.
I have seen his underwear drawer.
Add on to this, Shayera meets Carter Hall, an archaeologist who had studied ancient ruins in Egypt. Carter invites her to dinner, but later they have sex. Although it is not known in the show, it is implicitly told to the viewers, when Shayera and Carter left to see the pyramids in ancient Egypt on the next morning.
What?
I missed the dress.
You didn't miss it last night.
Queen Hippolyta. Hippolyta is the queen of the Amazons of Themyscira. She is the sister of Antiope and the mother of Wonder Woman. Hippolyta's history begins tens of thousands of years ago. In ancient times, there was a caveman who was injured by a tiger and driven from his tribe due to that. One day, he encountered a woman in a cave. She offered him food and showed him compassion, but this caveman brutally murdered her after. The first woman murdered by a man's hatred is Hippolyta. Born and destined to lead the ill-fated women, Hippolyta soon gets noticed by the king of the gods. She received Zeus's grace and became queen of a new race of warrior women on a magical island hidden from man's eye. The origin story of Hippolyta is mostly the same in many adaptations. However, with Diana's birth, the stories begin to differ. The surface story is that Hippolyta sculptured Diana by sand and the gods gave life to it. This is clearly shown in the animated movie Wonder Woman 2009. This is actually a cover story, because Amazons don't want to accept the fact that Diana was born from a union of male. Additionally, they want to hide the fact that they engage in sexual intercourse with men. In the Golden Age comics, we get to read that it was during the moment that Hippolyta received Zeus's grace, Diana was conceived in her womb, Wonder Woman number 1 through 4. However, things soon get complicated when Hippolyta sleeps with the war god Ares, the son of Zeus. Queen of Amazons has a son named Thrax with war god Ares in the same animated movie. Everyone knows the Olympians are one big, messed up family, and Queen Hippolyta also has her fair share of that compliment. When man-god Hercules, the demigod son of Zeus, triumphed 12 impossible labors, the 9th labor was to steal the girdle of the Queen of Amazons. The piece of cloth was an undergarment, and Hercules had to secure it. Yet in the comics and motion pictures, we get to see that Hercules didn't actually steal it, rather he was handed the girdle by Hippolyta herself. While it was a disgrace for Amazons to hear their queen's willing submission to a man, they spread a false rumor. Rumor was, Hercules poisoned the Amazon queen and stole her undergarment. However, in Wonder Woman Earth 1 comic, it was revealed that Hippolyta indeed has slept with Hercules, and the child born from the seed of Hercules is none other than Diana. Can Hippolyta's relations get more tangled than this? Seems like it can. In Justice League TV series, Wonder Woman had to return to Paradise Island, Themyscira, to save the king of the underworld Hades. When she visited Hades in Tartarus, he was not so mean to her as he was to others, and the reason for his kind gesture is another twist. In the early days, Hippolyta fell in love with a god, They were eagerly looking forward to nurture the fruit of their labor, but before the child was born, Zeus banished that god to Tartarus and made Hippolyta guard the doorway to his kingdom. That god is Hades, and his daughter is Diana. Lois Lane. If somebody asks who Lois Lane is, the answer is obvious.
Lane? Lois Lane? The one Superman always saves?
Afraid so.
Yes, most of the time she is Superman's one and only, but there were one or two occasions where she was someone else's. In the Superman Red Sun movie, Lois Lane was a journalist who worked at the Daily Planet as usual. But Superman, he was Superman after all, but not an American. He was a Soviet. So there was hardly any time for Superman to be Lois's guardian angel. In fact, the two countries were bitter enemies, and Superman was known as the Red Sun. After the retirement of Perry White, Lois became the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet. However, she didn't stop from there. When Lex Luthor got elected as the President of the United States, she was made White House press secretary. After a few months, Lois changed her role from secretary to First Lady. For the fans of Superman or Justice League series, this pairing may seem like the least probable, but things do happen. Lois did hook up with Luthor after all. The other time Lois sought someone else's comfort is when Bruce visited Metropolis in the Superman TV series. At first sight, Lois falls for Bruce.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And Bruce too went on dates with Lois. In the storyline, we get to see some lovey-dovey moments between Bruce and Lois as well. Soon, Lois and Bruce started spending their nights together, and Lois told Clark that she is moving to Gotham as she wants to marry Bruce.
To the planet's Gotham City Bureau.
Does this mean you and Bruce...
Yeah, it's that serious.
Even after Bruce's vigilante self gets discovered,
Bruce? So when were you gonna tell me? The honeymoon?
Lois wanted to stay with him, but their worlds are so much different and apart. This became the prominent factor to break off their engagement. Nonetheless, it was Bruce Wayne who turned Lois Lane into a woman and gave her the very first experience in pleasures of the flesh. Black Canary. Dinah Lance, known to the DC Universe as Black Canary, is a superhero vigilante who fights crime using martial arts and a sonic scream attack. She is one of the greatest fighters in the DC Universe, and Batman himself invited her to train Young Justice. Her costume is an attractive black outfit with fishnet stockings and blonde hair, and she is usually seen riding her motorcycle. Throughout history, Dinah only had eyes for one particular person, the billionaire party boy from Star City, Oliver Queen. There were ups and downs in their relationship due to Oliver's multiple hookups. However, the couple was able to somehow get over it. The accident meetup they had in Justice League's Watchtower eventually progressed into dates, nights, and finally into a marriage proposal. When Oliver was murdered by tyrannical Superman, Dinah was 3 months pregnant with Oliver's child. However, there was a time Dinah did cheat on Oliver, with none other than the Dark Knight. In All-Star Batman and Robin, one of the most infamous moments of the book is Batman killing a bunch of criminals during a dock fire, and seeing that brute force in action, Black Canary gets turned on. Without waiting anymore, she sucked into his mouth. Before they even take off their clothes, the two were having carnal pleasures to the heavens. Huntress. The Huntress is a vigilante operating out of Gotham City. Her mother was Maria Bertinelli. Maria is the wife of Franco Bertinelli, a member of the mafia family in Gotham City. She was the subject of frequent beatings from her husband. Maria also began an affair with a man named Santo Casamento and eventually became pregnant by him. Knowing the unborn child wasn't his, Franco continued to beat his wife throughout her pregnancy. When Maria gave birth to this child of her illicit union, she chose the name Helena Rosa Bertinelli. At the age of 8, Helena witnessed the murder of her mother, father, and brother by Stephen Mandragora. The event sparked her desire for revenge, and years later in her adult life, she would train herself to become the costume vigilante known as the Huntress. It was during that time that she got to meet Question from the Justice League. Question helped Helena capture Mandragora and subsequently get over her vengeance. In the Justice League animated series, we get to see the blooming romance of Huntress and Question. Huntress was somewhat bold and reckless, in contrast to Question, who was mostly reserved and quiet. While JL Unlimited featured the relationship of Question and Huntress, Arrow TV series sheds light on her fling with Oliver Queen. Huntress also began a brief romantic relationship with Nightwing while working together on a murder case of a police officer with connections to the Mafia. However, rather than a romantic relationship, one can identify this as an opportunity for the couple to blow off their steam. This list wouldn't be perfect without her. In fact, her mother has also made it to the list. Wonder Woman. The goddess of Justice League, Diana Prince is known to the man's world as Wonder Woman. She is the princess of the Amazons and Themyscira. Diana's first boyfriend and lover was Captain Steve Trevor, the first man she saw on an island full of women. Before Steve's arrival, Diana had a female lover named Cassia, but when she left Paradise Island with Steve, she also left Cassia behind. Steve was the first man to teach her the practical side of biology. She had a good time with him, and in Earth 2, Diana had a daughter with Steve. Lyta Trevor was her name. In Justice League War, released in 2014, Wonder Woman met Superman for the first time. Big Blue Boy Scout was buffed enough for Diana to leave Steve behind and begin dating him. In the Kingdom Come comic, we see Diana being pregnant. Their child is Lara Lor-Van, who later became a superhero just like her parents. In addition to Steve and Clark, Diana had a fling with Aquaman, the King of Atlantis, in the movie Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. There, she makes out with Arthur, and while they were in the act, Queen Mira, the wife of Aquaman, sees them. Soon after sharing the royal bed, Diana wanted it for herself only, so she killed the Queen of Atlantis. According to the above-mentioned facts, Wonder Woman doesn't seem to be a loyal partner regardless of her lawful upbringing. However, when it comes to the Justice League TV series, the prejudice we have toward Wonder Woman completely changes. That is because in the 2001 Justice League and 2004 JL Unlimited series, Wonder Woman had eyes only for one mortal, the Knight of Night. In modern-age comics, Wonder Woman met Batman for the first time in the Trinity Comics series. In the comic, Batman visits Paradise Island to call upon Diana. Yet when he sets foot on this magical island, he too was infused with its charm. His search for Diana came to an end when he found her bathing in the woods in her purest form. Overcome by her beauty, and without waiting for any introductions, Batman went ahead. A pretty bold move, but he ended up with a punch. However, this bold move was the first step in paving the way for something magical between Wonder Woman and Batman. When it comes to animation, they first met each other in the episode Secret Origins, when Man's World was attacked by the alien Imperium. Diana's concern for Bruce is clearly evident starting from the first episode of the series. The attack that happened on Gorilla City made Diana realize Batman's hidden love for her and kissed him on the cheek to reciprocate the feelings. When the Thanagarian invasion took place, Justice League split up and went undercover. Diana joined Batman, whom she knew to be Bruce Wayne. They shared their first kiss in an Indian restaurant at that time. Just like Diana, Bruce too cared for her deeply. When Circe cast a spell on Wonder Woman and turned her into a little piggy, Batman went to hell in order to save Diana. Not only that, he did something unthinkable too. When the whole team celebrated Christmas holidays in the episode Comfort and Joy, only Bruce and Diana were missing. Although we don't get any information about their whereabouts from the episode, the comic DC Universe Holiday Special presents us with a nice story. In the comic Injustice: Gods Among Us, we are shown the future after many years. Bruce is married to Diana, who is Secretary of the United Nations, and they are living happily together with their daughter. Similar to Diana, Bekka is the Wonder Woman in the movie Justice League: Gods and Monsters. She is a new god of Genesis. She was the wife of Darkseid's son, Orion. After Orion's death, she became the lover of Superman. However, she is not committed to anyone romantically, and that is also why she spends alone time with Captain Steve Trevor in his dojo from time to time. Romance with Batman took place in comics while her first husband, Orion, was still alive. Part of her powers as a god is being the god of love. Basically, she's Cupid. Unlike our famous seducer, Poison Ivy, here, whoever Bekka seduces also affects her, meaning she couldn't resist Batman either. Unable to resist one another, Bekka and Batman did the deed a few times. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. If so, please kindly remember to give a like and a share. It is one click away. If you have any suggestions for me, please comment them for sure. I love to read them and improve my skills to create more quality videos. See you next time.